Ta-da!
Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming in Lund, Sweden. For today's video, we will be playing Day 19 of Battle for the Borderlands. The battle will be between the Seaguard of Lothern and the Dwarf Miners. Let's go ahead and take a look at the warbands and take a look at the board. Our first warband here will be the Seaguard of Lothern with the blue dice. They are led here by our leader Enthoc the Defiant, and he today has the bow and the handcrafted ammo. He is joined by two other dogs of war. One has the regimental standard, the other one has a club with a nail in, which is two-handed D6 special rule. In addition to that, they are joined by 6 other spearmen. Spearmen have shield and light armor for a 5+ save. So there you go, 100 points of the Seaguard of Lothern. Our second warband now is the Dwarf Miners, and they are led here by our leader Treligrom Flatguard. And he has the dashing cloak of heroic renown, which gives him a 5+ regeneration in addition to his heavy armor. Over here we have 2 other dogs of war. One has the worn boots of unseemly haste, which gives this bearer the special swift stride rule. And the last one is has the scaled boots of delayed alacrity, which gives the random movement 2d6 special rule. So hopefully that will speed these two up a little bit. Joining them over here we have 6 other Dwarf Miners, and they have heavy armor for a 5+ save. So there you go, 100 points of the Dwarf Miners. Here's the board we will be playing on today, a simple 4-foot by 4-foot board set up with a village on one side. Over on this side we have a bit of a wall with a tower, something of a fortress there, a few different trees, a small forest and a hill there. This is what we'll be playing on today. Let's go ahead and roll off to see who gets to deploy first. Alright, dwarves with the red dice and the high elves with the blue. So it'll be dwarves who deploy first. Here's our deployment now. The dwarves are choosing this side with the rocks so that they can deprive the elves of any sort of cover. We have our leader and our 2 dogs of war right in here. And just on the other side of those rocks we have 3 of those miners there, and we have 3 in the forest. And the High Elf Seaguard has deployed over here on the other side. Spread out a little bit around this building with our leader here, who has a shot with his bow right on the other leader of the dwarves. Otherwise we've got spearmen just spread out, getting ready to fan out and take off. Alright, having deployed now, let's go ahead and roll here with the High Elves. On a 1 to 5 they get to decide who starts. On a 6 it will be the dwarves. So the High Elves will decide to start. They'll take the first turn. High Elf, turn 1. And one more thing before we start that, let's roll for our ancestral grudge for the dwarves. And that is a 2, which will be a personal vendetta. The dwarf general has the hatred special rule against the opposing army's general. Charges to declare, we've got none, but let's go ahead and march up these guys. We won't march our general because we want him to be able to get off a shot on the other general. And there are their final positions right there. Shooting phase, let's go ahead and take a shot with our leader and his bow over here, and we'll take it onto the leader who is right underneath that bridge. And as you can see here, there's indeed a good line of sight. We'll be shooting at the guy that is furthest to the left. Alright, ballistic skill of a 5. We're at long range, but we ignore that because of our ammo, and we moved, so we will be hitting now, instead of on a 2, on a 3. There's a hit. Wounding on a 5? No. Our other Seaguard here with the banner, he marched, so he will not be able to shoot this round. So that is the end of the shooting phase and the end of turn 1 for the High Elves. Let's go on to turn 1 for the dwarves. Alright, the High Elves are pretty smart in staying outside of the average charge range of the dwarves, which will make it more difficult to make these charges. These 3 are all out of charge range, so we're not going to be able to charge with them. We'll save their movement for the remaining moves. But we'll go ahead and charge all of these guys here. We'll take them crashing out and just have them go down the line here, starting with the banner and moving across, filling it up as we go. On second thought, we'll start way over here with these guys. This guy needs an 11 to get in, fails with a 4. This guy right here needs a 10, fails with a 3. This guy needs an 11, fails with a 5. And there's their final position. And we need to roll for that forest to see what it is. Number 4, which will be a fungal forest. And that means any unit at least partially within the fungal forest is subject to the rules for stupidity. So there we go. All right, next charges. Let's have all three of these guys make their way up here. We are at some pretty long ranges here, so very unlikely, but let's give it a try anyway. All right, first guy here needs a 9. No, he goes forward 3. This guy needs a 10. No, 4. And the last guy here needs an 11. No, so that's a 5. Final positions of all the failed charges. Next thing, let's go ahead and do some remaining moves here with these guys. Let's start out with our guy who has the Scaled Boots of Delayed Alacrity, 2d6, straight forward. We'll have him head towards the banner there. 2d6 special movement, he goes forward 3 only. So a 3-inch move here, and we will march the other 2 dwarves. They're full 6 inches. So that will be where they end up, right there. So end of the dwarf movement phase, and that's the end of their turn. Let's run over here now, flip us over to game turn 2, and start out with High Elves. Charges to declare, yeah, let's go ahead and charge with all of these 4. We'll send them right over into these groups here one at a time, and they will all hold. And all of the charges were successful. That's how it now looks. Let's run over here, and we'll do some remaining moves and just kind of slide these guys up a little bit. And they are taking their position on the edge of the courtyard. Shooting phase, let's go ahead and have our 2 archers, one shoot over here, our leader, onto this guy, and we'll have our banner shoot over here onto the general of the dwarves. Starting out here, we'll be hitting on a 3, yes, and wounding on a 5, no. Second one here, hitting on a 4, no. All right, let's run up to our combat. We have a block of combats right here. All right, let's start out with this one right here, and we have a d6 special attack, so he has 4 attacks, plus his other one, so 5 attacks onto that dwarf. Hitting now on 4s. And re-rolling our misses for always strikes first. 4 hits. Wounding now on 5s. And there's 1 wound. 5 plus save for heavy armor. No, he doesn't get it, so this guy goes down. We have to take now a panic test for 1, 2, 3 guys here. First guy here, leadership 8. He is fine with 3. This one, leadership 8 as well. 9, no, he's going to turn around and run. Let's see how far he goes. Total of 5 inches. Let's take this last guy over here, and leadership 8, he passes it. There we go, moving him out his 5-inch fillet. We're going to have to go ahead and try to overrun. Let's start here with the guy on the left, overrunning. All right, 2d6, he's going to go 8 inches, which means he's actually going to overrun and chop him down and catch him right there in the forest. Second guy here will just turn like this and face this other miner. Next combat, let's start over here. High Elf hitting on a 4. No. ASF, yes, there's a hit. And wounding on a 5. No. Dwarf coming back, hitting on a 4. There's a hit. Great weapon, so we're wounding on a 2. There's a wound. And that's going to be too powerful of an attack because of the great weapon. So this guy will go down right there. We're going to have to take a panic test for that guy. Leadership of 8. And he gets it no problem. And all of these guys right here are too far away, so they don't need to take panic tests. Let's move on to the next combat here. Same thing here, hitting on a 4. No. ASF. Hitting on a 4. No. Coming back. Hitting on a 4. There's a hit. Wounding on a 2. Yes. No save there, so we'll remove him as well. End of the combat phase for the Lothern Seaguard. Let's move on to the Dwarf Miners. All right, here we go. Charges to declare. We are going to charge everything. So let's start out here with this guy. We'll have him charge here. He will hold. He cannot miss that. Let's have this guy in the back charging this guy, and he will hold as well. And that's how that one looks right there. Let's have these two, let's have one of them charge into the banner, and the other one charge into the leader. They will both hold. First one here needs a 6, and he gets in with a 6. Boom. Next one here needs a 7, average roll. And no, that's a 6. Stumbling ahead there 4 inches. Let's go ahead and take these last guys. We'll send all 3 of these, one into each one of these spearmen. They will also hold. All right, first one here, Swift Stride Rule. He needs a 6. No, he only gets a 4. That sends him ahead 2 inches. This one here needs a 6. And he got it, so he'll make it in at least. And the last guy needs an 8. No, that's a 5, so he's going to stumble ahead 4 inches. And there's the final position right there. Rather poor charging now for the dwarves, but it looks like we got a few in combat. Let's go ahead and run through some of these combats one at a time. Let's start with this one, our leader, onto that spearman. So, super speedy dwarf versus great weapon. Let's start out here, hitting on a 4. No. Always strikes first. No. Coming back now, our prospector, 2 attacks, and he's weapon skill 5, so he's hitting on 3s. There's 1 hit, wounding on a 2 because of the great weapon. No! Super lucky for the elves. Let's run over here to this next combat. 4s, yes, and wounding on a 5, no. Coming back now, regular old miner hitting on a 4 and wounding on a 2. Oh, he got it. Oh, that is going to be huge. We don't have any protection enough to help us with armor, so this guy is going to go down, which means we have to take panic tests for these 2 guys over here. They've lost their banner, so no re-rolling at all. And let's start over here. We also have to do our leader. Let's not forget that. On a leadership of an 8, yes, we're fine here. And this one, leadership of 8 with 6, no problem. And our leader, no, he's going to run. Oh my goodness, he's gonna run how far? 5 inches out this direction. All right, so turning around like this, heading out 5 inches, that is where he's going to end up. Our leader is on the run, that is unbelievable. And so he's gonna end up just turning like this and staying there. Let's run over here to a couple combats on the other side. Okay, starting here, we've got this combat. We have High Elf's 4 attacks with his club with a nail in it. He's going to be striking with re-rolls on misses, so hitting on 4s and re-rolling our misses, 3 hits. Wounding now on 5s, and there is 1 wound. We've got a 5+ armor save. No, so this guy's gonna go down as well. Boom. Forcing a panic test here for a 9. He gets it with a 9. Next combat over here, we are gonna be hitting on 4s. No, re-rolling our misses. No. Coming back, hitting on a 4. No. All right, that last combat brings us to the end of Dwarf turn 2. Let's run over here and turn us over to High Elf turn 3. Charges to declare, we have got to pile up and do something here. So let's declare a charge on here. He will hold. He has no chance to fail that. And let's have each one of these guys over here. Let's turn them around like this. Let's declare charges onto this guy here. He will make it in here, and this guy will make it in here without any problem. Compulsory moves, let's see if we can rally our leader. We need this on a 7, yes, so he will be able to turn around. Unfortunately, he will not be able to shoot this turn. All right, close combat. Things are really kind of moving in the direction of the dwarf, so we need something to happen here. Let's start out with this combat. Maybe we can get something and force some panic tests. D6, we got 3 attacks there. We're going to be hitting now on 4s and re-rolling our misses. 3 hits, good start. Wounding on 5s. Ooh, only 1 wound. We got a 5+ save. No, good, we got him. This guy goes down. Okay, panic test for all of 3 of these guys right here. Leadership 9, starting over here, he is fine. Leadership 9, fine. And our last guy here, also fine. Now let's just go ahead and turn this guy around like this. We need to get 1 more kill that will drop the dwarves below their breaking point. Over to this combat in the woods now. We are going to be hitting on a 4. There it is. Wounding on a 5. No. Coming back on a 4. There's a 4. Wounding on a 2 because of our great weapon. Yes, and no save, so this guy goes down. And let's spin this guy around as well. That also puts the dwarves now 1 kill away from their breaking point as well. Last combat here, this is for the game almost. We've got 3 attacks here from these spearmen, 3 of them right now, and hitting on 4s, reloading on misses. So we've got 2 hits, that's enough to kill this guy. He only has 2 wounds. We got a wound on 5s though, nothing. 2 attacks now coming back, hitting on 3s. Ah, oh no! Okay, so that ends the close combat and ends the High Elf turn. Neither of the teams has fallen below the breaking point now. So let's move on to Dwarf turn 3. Charges to declare. We've got quite a few. All right, let's just go all out, full out. Charge here, hold. Charge here, on here, hold. Charge here, hold. Here, we're gonna have this guy charge here, hold. Let's roll these out and show you what they look like afterwards. Going back though, I forgot that this guy wasn't the fungal for us, so we need to actually roll for a stupidity test. He does get it with a 9, so he's okay. All of the charges have made it in now, so we have everybody in combat. This looks like it may very well be the final, if not the second last round of the game. Let's fight some combats out in the dwarf turn. All right, starting out with this combat here, D6 attacks for the High Elf, 6 attacks, that'll be really good. So here we go, 6 attacks, and we are hitting on 4s, rerolling our misses. Oh, look at that, 6 hits. And wounding on 5s, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds. 5+ save for heavy armor, and he saves 2, but misses 2, so he will go down. Let's flip him around, get him facing back into combat. Next thing, let's have our leader here. He's got 2 attacks. Hitting on 4s, look at that. Wounding on 5s. Oh. Coming back now, we've got 1 hitting on a 4 and wounding on a 2. Yes, no save there, so this guy will be dropped down to 1 wound. And losing combat now by 1, that will drop our leadership down to 7. So rolling on a 7, and no, our leader, he cannot win. He's going to go ahead and flee a total of 9 inches. Here we go, we're gonna make a pursuit. 9 inches, oh, 8, no, he doesn't get it. And here's how they end up with the dwarf hot in pursuit. And here we have the final combat. I won't sing that for you. Let's go ahead and have all 3 of these spearmen direct their attack into the leader. Here we go, hitting on 4s and re-rolling our miss. So 2 hits, wounding now on 5s. We got 1 wound and we have a 5+ save. Got it. All right, let's run over here and have these 2 miners onto that spearman. They will be hitting now on 4s and wounding on 2s. Oh, he doesn't stand a chance. Let's take him out. And those 2 guys filling in the ranks. Last one, we've got our leader now onto these 2 guys here. We've got 2 attacks, hitting now on 3s. There's 1 hit. Wounding on a 2 because of our great weapon. Yeah, no chance. Boom, he is out as well. End of the combat now, and it's a pretty sad state for the High Elves. We've only got 2 spearmen here, and our leader is running. They are below their breaking point because of all these guys killed, so let's go ahead and roll to see what happens. Okay, a leadership of 8. Here we go. 9! Oh my goodness, the High Elves have lost. Wow, they all take off and flee off the board, and the miners are the victors for this game. Okay, we can go ahead now and roll on the upgrade chart to see what our leader gets for this game. Double ones, but we think he had +2 there, so Iron Arm, your leader gains +1 strength. That will bring him now up to strength 4. With that victory, the miners now advance to round 3, in which they will eventually take on the winner of the game between the Dwarf Slayers and the Savage Orcs. Stay tuned for that. That should be pretty exciting. Thank you for joining us here today at Grey Army Gaming, where Grey can always play.